Hello Oracle fans, this is Justin, and in this Oracle Database YouTube video tutorial I am going to discuss the ASM mountain ASM disk groups in restricted mode and why you would want to do so. Now ASM, which was introduced in Oracle Database version 10G, stands for Automatic Storage Management, and it is the LVM, the Logical Volume Manager, that is built into the Oracle database. Okay, so Oracle has its own volume manager called ASM, and it's been available since version 10G, and it runs on the same server as the database that it's using, and it's an alternative to using raw logical volumes or cooked file systems, which are files, DBA files, redo log files, things like that, that are physically contained in files on a file system. Okay, and in this scenario, we're running on a Windows Vista machine, and we have Oracle Database 11G Release 2 running, and we have two database instances. We have an ASM instance called plus ASM, that's the name of the SID, and that's the instance that serves the I/O. And we have the client, we'll call it the I/O client, if you will, database, our DBMS database instance, which is called Finance, F-I-N-A-N-C-E. So if we set our Oracle SID to Finance, we connect via SQL plus, select name from $$ database to ensure we connect to the Finance database. And if we say select name from $$ data file, we will see that our data files are managed by the plus D group disk group. Okay, so it's ASM. And if we do select name from $$ control file, we will see that our control file is in the plus D group 1 disk group, so it's managed by ASM. And if we do a select member from $$ log file like so, we will see that the online redo log groups, 3 groups, 1 member each, are in the plus D group 1 ASM that are managed by ASM. And if we do a select file name from $$ temp file, like so, select name from $$ temp file, we will see that our temporary tablespace file is also managed by the D group 1 disk group, so by ASM. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's shut down our Finance instance with our regular consistent shutdown mode, shutdown immediate, and this is shutting down the RDBMS instance, the Finance instance. I'll pause the video while that occurs. Okay, the Finance instance has been shut down. Now we're going to set our Oracle SID to plus ASM equals plus ASM like so. There it is, plus ASM. And if I type it right, we're going to connect to that instance, and we're going to shut down the ASM instance now with shutdown immediate. And it dismounts the disk groups, and it shuts down the instance. So now when we start it up, we're going to start it up with a special option. We're going to say startup restrict. Okay? And usually we just type in startup to start an ASM instance like you do with any Oracle instance, but we added the clause restrict here. Now, you'll see that it says ASM disk groups mounted. Okay, so our ASM that's the equivalent of an ASM instance being open, right? And for a regular RDBMS database instance. Okay, so ASM is fully up and running, but it's in a restricted state, and it does say ASM disk groups mounted. Okay, and if we type in, now we see that our instance says ASM disk groups mounted. Okay, so it shows us that the ASM instance is in a normal, leads us to believe that our ASM instance has started in its normal state. But if we type in select logins from $$ instance, like so, select logins from $$ instance, we get a different story. It says restricted. Okay, so this tells us that our ASM instance has been started in restricted mode. So now, if we go ahead and do our normal procedures, we continue along with our normal procedures, i.e., we already started our ASM instance. So now we set our Oracle SID to our finance instance, the RDBMS database, whose storage is managed by this ASM instance, and we type in startup, and we see what happens. Okay, and we get error in identifying control file. Check alert log for more info. Okay, and so now we go ahead and we check our alert log of our RDBMS instance, which is finance. So we go to our Oracle base, Oracle app, the diag directory under Oracle base, cd RDBMS, cd to finance, cd to finance again, cd to trace, and we edit alert finance.log. Okay, and we go all the way to the bottom here, and this is the error that we get when we try to start up our instance. It says cannot open the specified control file. Control file, and here's the control file managed by ASM in the plus D group 1 ASM group. It says failed to open file, the control file, this group D group 1 mounted in restricted mode. Okay, so that being the case, so that's the error that we get. So that's how we know that ASM instance is in restricted mode. Now, to take it out of restricted mode, I know what you're thinking. Well, can I just issue the alter system command to disable it? To disable restricted mode, like I can with regular DBMS systems. Well, go ahead. So we say select logins. We connect it to our plus ASM instance, which is currently mounted in restricted mode, and we do select logins from the $ instance, and we will see restricted. So we should be able to just type in alter system disable restricted session. Command disallowed by current instance type. Okay, and it's the same thing with alter system enable restricted session to turn it on. It says command disallowed by current instance type. Okay, so you can't use these like you can with a regular database instance. To take it out of restricted mode, you need to shut down your ASM instance. Like so. And you just need to start it up without any clauses, just the startup command, and it will start up fully, which is it will mount the disk groups, this time in a non-restricted state. Okay, so it's the same message as before, disk groups mounted, but this time when we do a select logins from $$ instance, it says allowed instead of restricted. Okay, so the two alter system commands, enable and disable for restricted sessions, are not applicable for ASM instances, only RDBMS instances. Okay, and that's why it says for the current instance type, because ASM is an instance type. Okay, and RDBMS is another instance type. Okay, so now if we set our Oracle SID to finance, connect with SQL Plus, we'll shut down abort, and we just type in the startup. It should start up fine now, because not only is the ASM instance, it's the plus ASM instance up, but it is allowing client RDBMS connections. Okay, and we can see that it got past that stage this time. It actually mounted a control file from ASM, and it should be able now to read all the data files from ASM as well and open the database. Excuse me. Which it did. Database open. Perfect. Okay, so that's how you mount that's how you start up an ASM instance in restricted mode, and there are a lot of reasons why you'd want to. One reason is an ASM rebalance operation, and please refer to my ASM video, YouTube video, where I talk about rebalancing. Um, for performance reasons. There's just a lot of maintenance reasons why you would want to shut down. Start up an ASM instance in restricted mode. You don't want any client RDBMSs to be connecting to it. Okay. All right. That's how you start up an ASM instance in restrict mode.